Hey guys, how are you? I hope you are having a great week. Today is the fall edition of my Thrift and Decorate with me. I'm going to take you along as I head to Arcade Junction. I've taken you there before. It is my favorite co-op here in the Western New York area. If you're local, you definitely have to check it out because I am like a little kid in a candy store. Every time I'm there, there are so many treasures and the prices are unbeatable too. I love it there so much. I actually have a booth there myself. So I cannot wait to take you along to see what treasures I can find. Then we'll come on back and do a little decorating. So grab yourself a warm cup of coffee and let's go shopping. It is a picture perfect early fall day. The leaves are just beginning to change. I just want to press pause and savor this time of year. I love it so much, and I love the drive down to Arcade Junction. Eden joins me often on our rides, and we just love it. We love the view. It is so pretty. So here we are at Arcade Junction, located in Arcade, New York, and I'm going to take you through. There's lots of fall decor sprinkled in, as well as everyday decor. I love looking at the everyday decor and then incorporating it into my fall decor. So I'm going to show you some of the treasures that I'm finding. I love this picture. It is so pretty. It's been there for the last few weeks when I've gone down there. I go down almost every week or every week and a half or so. And every time I'm there, I'm always drawn to it. And I love finding pieces like this and then just adding some seasonal fall stems. So it's a great way to buy something and then you'll be able to use it for multiple seasons. I love that candle holder, don't you? And this old German jug. And this La Creuset, if I didn't have a few, I would definitely pick this up. $25 for a La Creuset pot. And it's a nice big brazier. I was so tempted to get that, you guys. It was such a good deal because those run for hundreds of dollars. Now I'm going to pop in this booth. I always love this booth. It is always styled so beautifully. Little bit of fall sprinkled in. I love it. As well as just some great everyday decor to incorporate into your home year round. So I just always love the treasures I find here. Look at this crock for $4 for a Dundee marmalade crock. Yes, I did bring that home with me because that was a steal. And just such really cute fall and Halloween decor. I love this little boo bucket. It's like a little hanging bucket. Isn't that cute for $12? Some cute little signs. So such cute things in this booth as well. You could literally spend hours here. Everywhere you turn, there is just more treasures to find and to see. I just love coming here. Look at this copper kettle for $2.50. I don't know why I didn't get it. I have several, so I left it there, but I was really tempted to get this for only $2.50. You got to be kidding me. Such great decor. This was such a really unique piece of pottery too, but just so many different crocks. And of course, look at all the fall decor sprinkled into. I just love looking at all the fall decor. This is a great little prim booth too. Always such cute things. Even some dried bittersweet, which was just so lovely to see, so pretty. Here's a really nice salt box for only $20. What a steal. I was really tempted to get that. And look at this again, that beautiful dried bittersweet. I am like a little kid in a candy store every time I'm here because I'm always finding new treasures, and the prices, like I've mentioned, are phenomenal too. I love this twig grapevine wreath, perfect for fall too, just to tuck somewhere. It's only $7, and look at this beautiful sampler for $23. Some really nice primitive bull filler, some pipberry garland, which is perfect to incorporate into fall decor as well. But just great treasures I am finding. I never leave empty-handed. I go and restock my booth, and then I buy new things to bring home because there's just so many beautiful treasures to find here. Isn't that place amazing, you guys? That is why I say I'm like a little kid in a candy store. Every time I'm there, and I try to go once a week to check and restock on my booth. And then of course I have to browse as well. And I always find new treasures every time I go. And the prices are phenomenal too. Whereas I go to like Savers or Goodwill and the prices have just gotten out of control. And I'm just not finding a lot there too. Maybe I'll find something. I know I love that Thrill the Hunt, but maybe I'll find something, but a lot of times I'm walking out empty-handed where I go to Arcade Junction, and I just like find stuff every time I go because it is just filled with so many treasures and great prices too. So again, if you're local, you'll definitely want to check them out, or if you're passing through the Western New York area, definitely stop on in. They also have a Facebook page too. I'll link everything down below for you. So I did pick up a few things which I'll share with you. We're going to do a little redecorating. We're going to start here in the dining room, which I shared last week, along with the hutch, which I know some of you guys were disappointed that we repainted it, but I gotta tell you, I do love it. I definitely wanted it more subtle. I know it blends in a little bit with the wall, but that was intentional. But I figured, well, maybe it was a little bit of the decor that I used in here, needing something to pop. So I have these beautiful stems. Aren't they gorgeous? They're more of a yellow. I also have these in orange too, which I did use originally on my front porch, but I've since moved because I love these stems so much that I want to see them, that I brought them into the entryway, which I'll show you. So I've done a little redecorating on the front porch too, which I'll share with you, just because I took the stems along with the wicker chairs to put in the kitchen, back in the kitchen. But anyways, I just thought maybe these will pop a little bit more. So I figured we'll use these throughout, do a little redecorating in here. I'll show you a few of the things that I got. But as far as finding thrift store decor that you can use in your home, I mean, you can just find so many things that you can use that are everyday items, but then you can also work for your home for fall as well. I love, like I mentioned, copper pots and textiles and even dinnerware that's just going to bring your home feel warm and cozy for fall. So I did pick up a few things. I did pick up a new copper piece, which I cannot wait to show you. And then I got a new little crock too, which are just great everyday pieces, but are perfect for fall too. So we're going to do a little redecorating with that. But first, I'm going to incorporate some of these stems in here in the dining room, just change a few things around. So I'm going to take you around and show you what I do. So first I'm going to change this on my table. I'm going to remove all of the pumpkins along with the bowl, and I'm going to add back this runner that I've had for years. I think the color of it will complement the hutch nicely. And then I'm going to bring in a vase with some of those stems that I showed you. I think that's going to look really pretty. I still want to keep the table really simple. I don't want to have a lot of clutter on here. So I have the runner, and then I have this basket, which is a thrifted basket. If you're looking for some unique and affordable baskets, definitely check the thrift store. Most of my baskets are thrifted baskets, and they're perfect for fall too. So definitely look for those because they add so much texture to your home. I love the size of this one, so I'm going to use that on the center of the table. And then I love using pitchers and vases. You can find those at the thrift store as well. I just have this vase that I've had for years. So I'm going to put that on the center as well. And then some of those really pretty stems. I really love the stems in here. They really pop against the basket, and they really pop against the hutch too. I'm loving it. Really kind of brighten the room up. So I think I'm going to grab a few of the white pumpkins and add them on each side of the basket too. This looks so pretty, just very simple and pretty. I have more of these stems, so I think I'm going to add a few in one of the baskets on top of the hutch too. I have some of these stems too, which I've had. And I'm going to try a few in this basket, just something a little different, just so it's not so matchy-matchy. Look how just changing the stems changed the look of this space. It is so pretty. I love the stems in the basket and these beautiful stems here. It looks really pretty and they pop on the hutch too. So I think I'm going to take some more of those stems. I have a few more and add them throughout the room too. Like I mentioned before, one thing I love decorating with year round is copper, but more so for fall. So if you're looking for some everyday elements that you can incorporate into your fall decor, find some copper pieces. Check your thrift store, of course, antique stores, but you can get usually a good deal if you can find it at the thrift store. I found that copper kettle for $2.50. I was so tempted to get it, but I have so many copper kettles. But those are great to tuck around. And I'm going to show you what I did in my kitchen, incorporating some copper pieces that I've had from thrift stores and antique stores. But wait until you see what I picked up today. This huge double boiler. It actually came with a lid too, but I left that in the car because I'm not going to use a lid, but it has a lid as well. This is a huge double boiler, and I just think this will be so pretty to add fall stems. I even think for Christmas to add some beautiful cedar or just some greenery, some real or faux greenery. Isn't this a beauty? This is a lot of copper here. This was $49 just to kind of give you a price point too, but which I thought was a really good deal because when I do see these at like antique stores, they're definitely a lot more than that. So I want to use it here in the dining room. I'm thinking maybe over here on the table, whether I put it on top of the table, under the table, add some of these really pretty stems, whether I use these or some other ones that I grabbed. I think this is just going to look really pretty in here for fall. This side has a beautiful patina on it. Let's see how this side looks. Has a nice patina on it too. Let's see. Here are the stems I have. I'm going to try these in here. I moved these out of the living room because I did change some things in the living room. They were in the living room. These stems against that copper is so pretty. And I think I'm going to switch out my dried sweet Annie with a few more of these stems that go better. So when I walk into the dining room, I feel like there are too many florals going on, which I know there's not a lot, but I really like simplicity. I believe less is more. I love the way the top of the hutch and the table looks, so I'm going to change something over here. And I think I'm going to start by removing this basket. Let's see how that looks without the basket there. Just without that, kind of really tones it down. First I thought it might be the boiler, but I think just by that, really kind of just tones it down, makes it more subtle in here. So I'm just gonna find something to replace this basket. In place of the basket, I think I'm gonna hang this turkey platter. I love this turkey platter. I actually have two, the other one in the kitchen, which you'll see. I found this thrifting last year for $6.49. So check the thrift store if you love turkey platters too, because they're great to put on a plate rack, which I have in my kitchen, or to even hang to use for Thanksgiving. But I'm really into decorating with turkeys for fall even this year. I have several turkey figurines throughout my home because I just think they're so fall-y. Anyways, I'm gonna add a plate holder to the back and hang that above that cabinet, but it's gotta set for a little bit. I love using these. I use these when I hang plates all the time, and they're very reliable. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet it down and then place it on here. It's really gotta set to dry so that glue really sticks really well. You don't wanna hang it too soon so your plate falls. So I'm gonna adhere this to here and then let it dry, and then we'll get it hung up. So what you do is you add water and then you kind of activate that glue like that. And then you're gonna wanna let it sit for about 5 minutes or so, and then do it again before you even attach it. And then I let it sit overnight. So I'll hang this up actually tomorrow. I don't want to hang it up too soon and then it breaks. But check the thrift store. I see them quite often too. I'm always tempted to get another one. So I'm gonna let this sit, then do this one more time, and then attach it to the platter. So this is ready to go. So I'm just going to make sure I got it lined up where I want it. And then I'm gonna stick it on here. Make sure I got it where I want it to hang. So now this is gonna sit overnight. I want it to get good and dry before I hang it. And with just a few simple changes, here is a look at how the dining room is now decorated for fall. So the kitchen looks different than when I last shared it with you. However, it is very similar to how I've had it for a while before I did change it. I brought back the round table out of retirement. I had it in storage, brought it back. Honestly, we just like the size of this table more. The other one was a little bit smaller, and I just like the way this one fits in here. I also brought back the wicker chairs. Like I mentioned earlier, these were, well, they were here, then I had them outside, now they are back. That's why I brought them off, took them out of the front porch. And then I also brought back the curtains, hung them back up on the rods, along with the lamps. Everything is very similar to what I had it like earlier this year. I just like the way that the style works in my home better. So anyways, I wanted to show you here, like I mentioned, I love these stems. So these are the orange stems that I also had on my front porch that I took off the porch, because look at how pretty they look in this basket. This is a thrifted basket. So again, if you are looking for some thrifted decor to incorporate into your fall decor, definitely shop some baskets at the thrift store, because they make such a big impact than just adding some stems that you can get at the craft store or, you know, your local boutique, and just find these really beautiful stems, and you can use the basket year round. And then just simply adding some stems into a basket is an easy and simple and affordable way to add a little pop of fall into your home. I also have a real pumpkin over here and one of my duck decoys. Very, very simple, you guys. And then on the table, I just have, wanting to keep it, again, very simple, because we do eat here every day. The kids are here. So this is a very active, high traffic table. So I don't want to have a lot of stuff on the table. So I just have a grapevine wreath along with one of my pumpkins. Again, keeping it very simple, but cozy, and just that little pop of fall. But I am probably going to change this out now. And I think I'm going to bring in my big round bowl and then put this on my little work table that I have in the kitchen area. So I'm gonna bring in the big wood bowl that was in the dining room, because I just love that bowl. So I don't wanna put it in storage. See how that looks here, and then put this on the other table. So just kind of switching things around. I really like the way this bowl looks here. It really kind of grounds the space. It brings another piece of warmer tone to this space as well. I had that other wooden bowl that I put in the kitchen area that I can use for fruit. I'm not gonna put anything in here. Maybe eventually when I go to the pumpkin patch, I might throw some small little white pumpkins in there or something, but for now I kind of like it just without anything, and they're very simple, so I can move it on and off the table. Now I'm gonna take the other pumpkin and put it on the work table. I think that's gonna look really pretty. So this shelf is actually another thrifted item I found earlier this year for $4.99 at Savers, and it was 20% off as well. And I hung it here in my kitchen, and I just love styling this seasonally. Anyways, I was just doing a little playing around, adding some of my copper pieces. Most of these are thrifted. I think this was from an antique store, but the other two were from the thrift store as well. And then I'm just adding a few of my little crocks. Now this is actually one you can get on my blog for free. I'll link it here in the video description. This I actually got, I think at an antique store. But if you love these Dundee jars, wait until you see the one that I found today. Look at that. I love it. I shared that when I was in the store as well. $4, you guys. I was so excited to find this. So anyways, I think I'm gonna put it here just to kind of like stagger them a little bit. I have a real little pumpkin here. These are actually like thrifted. I think one of them still has a price tag on it. $3.49. I just added some dried stems in there. But I just like the way this little shelf looks, and then just keeping it very simple for fall with the little pumpkin, the hot apple cider crock. This is a Hobby Lobby crock, and then the design you can get for free on my blog. I share that all. Again, I will link that in the video description. I'm just gonna take the tape off here and then add that onto this shelf. And I just, again, love using copper for fall. It's just so fall-y. And then just finding most of those at the thrift store too. So I'm gonna take a minute and take the sticker off and add it here to the shelf. Like I have mentioned throughout this video, I love decorating with copper year-round, but especially for fall, it really warms up the space. So here above my stove on this thrifted shelf, I have, these are all thrifted pieces. I have a thrifted colander along with these really pretty fall stems, just keeping it very simple, little pop of fall, along with this thrifted copper pot and a few other thrifted pieces. And then on my stove, I have another thrifted copper pot that I shared with you when I found it. And I love to use this for my simmer pot. So I think I shared that last week in a video. I did a fall simmer pot. I don't have one going right now. And then I use this for my simmer pot, but when I'm not using it, I have it sitting here on my stove. And like I mentioned earlier, I love this turkey platter. So if you do as well, be on the lookout for one at your local thrift store because I see them there quite often. So I have another one tucked here in the corner of my kitchen, along with a crock with some more of those really pretty fall stems. And then this wooden bowl, I'm just gonna keep it empty for now, but eventually maybe add some apples or pears or some sort of seasonal fall fruit in here. This was the one that was also on my dining room table, along with just a little lamp for a cozy fall glow. And then I just use this little tray just to hide the cords here. And then I also just have another crock here with just a few more of those stems, keeping it very simple because I wanna have a lot of workspace to make lots of yummy fall treats. And hanging here, I have a few more thrifted copper pieces. I shared this with you when I found it, I think a year or two ago. I found this, I believe, at Anvet's for like $2. Isn't that pretty? And then I have a copper pan here too that was also thrifted. And then a cutting board that I aged, that I shared in a video too, how I kind of make it look old and distressed. A little tea towel, and then a basket. Added some of those orange stems that I did have on my front porch originally in this crock on this shelf that I have in my entryway, along with a few real pumpkins. I just love the way that looks there. I love these orange stems in this crock. If I can find these, I got these at a local shop years ago, but if I can find them online, I will link them for you. I get asked about them all the time because they are just so pretty. But I just love this way this whole little area looks in the entryway. I'll show you a few other places I added some of these stems too. I also added some more in a crock here on this entry table, which this entry table, if you remember, is a thrifted table I found at the Goodwill for only $12.99. So again, incorporating a lot of that thrifted decor in my home, and then just using a crock and some of those beautiful orange stems for fall. And I also added one into this basket, also in my entryway underneath my bowl rack. So just a basket. This is a thrifted basket. Some of these beautiful stems. So I love using thrifted baskets throughout my home and then just incorporating some seasonal stems and then just changing them out seasonally. And then this bowl rack I have had, and I just have that here, so I'm not making any changes on that. So just that little pop of fall along with a thrifted item here just looks so simple and pretty. Because I moved the wicker chairs that I had here on the porch back into the kitchen, and then I used all of those really pretty orange stems in my entryway, it kind of left things a little bare out here. So I ended up just changing it a little bit. I ended up getting some corn stalks, and I really like the height that they add next to the door. And then I have all of the mums are faux mums. And I just love those. I've had these for years too. They're from QVC. If I can find any to link, I will link them because they're actually like spheres. And I shared these with you before. But then I just take them off the sphere and then just pop them in a container. Most of the pumpkins are real. Like this is a real pumpkin. I'm trying to, again, use a lot of real pumpkins. But those are all real. All of the pumpkins I have here. And actually, I do want to get some more to kind of just have spread out. But for the time being, this is kind of how I changed it. Again, all of these mums, because for me, I can't get mums to last very long. So I really like the faux mums because they just last me all season. And again, these have lasted me 4 years. I wish they still had these available. I just love them. So anyways, this is how I changed the front porch. I still kept the wreaths on the front porch that I had here. But then just adding the height instead of with the trees, with the corn stalks, I moved the trees and then just brought all of these mums and the real pumpkins. I ended up adding a rug. I know I talked about that when I did my front porch video, the original one. I did add that just for a little bit more, and then I ended up moving the mat over here too. So this is kind of how the little update on the front porch. And again, I wasn't planning on changing it, but because once I moved the chairs and then all the orange stems, it was looking so bare out here. So I just kind of changed it all around. Okay guys, that is all for today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got some decorating inspo for your home as well. You can also follow me on social media at Mother Time, and you can check out my blog, mothertime.com. And if you've enjoyed this video and you are not subscribed to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button so you never miss any of these videos. Thanks guys for hanging out with me here today. I'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Bye guys.